this channel. In this channel, we talk about mental mathematics. In this video, we're going to look at percentage hacks that everyone who is into maths should know. These hacks makes your work easier while you're doing your calculation. So let's dive into this video now. So here we're going to look at numbers. If someone tells you, you know, what is 20% of a number, how would you do that quickly? What is 25% of a number? How can you quickly do that number, compute that calculation without writing it down? And 30%, and it continues. I have so many examples for you in this video. Now let's dive into 20%. So suppose someone tells you, okay, in one class, we've got 320 students, and 20% are boys. And then the question would be, how many boys are there actually? So that means, in short, they're trying to ask you, what is 20%, 20 over 100 of 320? So in normal situation, you will just, you know, take your pen and, you know, cancel the zeros, and then you are going to have 32 times 2, which will give you 64. It's the best approach, but still there even easier way to do it. So the idea is, like, every time you get 20% of any number, just divide that number by 5. So I'll just say 320 divided by 5, and that one will quickly give me 64. Okay, so that way I don't have to go this direction. This helps a lot when you are doing your calculation, and sometimes it takes many seconds. So assume now you want to write 20 over 100 times 320. So let me show you how that one works. So suppose you get this number, like 20% of 320. So you have to write this 20. Oh, I didn't pick any pen. Sorry. Okay, so if we have 20 over 100, and you have to go ahead and write 20 over 100 times 320 and all that. If I have my answers here, if I have my number here, and I know how I can do it quickly, I will be more faster. So this one will be faster than this one. And that's why these hacks are very necessary. So how about if someone tells you, okay, so still, let's remain in the same class. So in the same class, someone tells you, we have 25%. Okay, sorry for that. Normally I have this sliding problem, but it doesn't matter. So then if you have 25%, you're told 25% in this class are still, let's talk about, like, yeah, let's say 25% of this students, the same number, are girls. So girls are 25%. So assuming this is our new calculation. So we're talking about 25% that are girls in this case. So the idea here is, like, every time you given a number, find 25% of that number, then just divide that number by 4. So if you have 320, then just divide by 4, and then you know you have 80. And because we are more into mental mathematics, the idea is, like, how to compute the number from your head as quickly as possible. So that is something that I wanted to show you. Now, supposing we are now talking about 30% of any number. So if you get 30%, the idea is, like, duplicate it, that multiply it by 2, and then divide it by 10. By 3, multiply it by 3, or 3 times, and then divide it by 10. So assume you have here 15, I don't know, 15 oranges. And then you want to know what is 30% of 15. So you want to know what is 30% of 15 here. So the idea is like triplicate it, okay, and then divide by 10. So that basically means multiply that 15 by 3 and then divide by 10. So that will give you 45 divided by 10, easy, like quickly, it will give you 4.5. So 4.5 oranges is what will represent 30% of 15 oranges. And that means like, if I use that method, I would take 15, immediately multiply by 3 will give me 45. And then I divide that one by 10, I have 4, 5. So this way, your calculation becomes faster and it goes very quick. And also, yeah, in most cases, also, you don't have to take a pen to write these things. You can see an answer just by computing that. So now let's go again to our class where we had 320. So we have a class of 320. And in this case, every time they ask you 50% of any number, just divide that number by 2. Okay. So in this case now, we're just going to divide this number by 2, and that's going to give us 160. Quick. If a number is supposed to be divided by, if you have to get a number, 60% of a number, then the idea here is to double that number and then triplicate it, and then you'll finally get divided by 10. In the beginning, you talk about any order that you can double the number, multiply 3 times, and then divide by 10. Or you can also do any order. You can also divide by 10, then triplicate it, and then double it. So assume now we want to know what is 60% of the oranges. We talked about 15 oranges. Okay. So 15 oranges. So for us to get 60%, basically what we asked here is double the number. So you have 15 multiplied by 2. That one will give you 30. And then triplicate it. That will give us then multiplied by 3. That will give you 90. And then divide 90 by 10. So that's going to give us 9. So as you can see, this is some calculation you can always do in your head. Just multiply. And in short, you can as well just multiply the number by 6 because you have 2 here and 3. So if you say 15 times 6 will give you 90, and then divide that number by 10, and you get easy. You quickly get that answer. Okay. Now let's go to a number like 66.67%. This is also an interesting value. And sometimes you have figures, you may be having numbers that they ask you, hey, can you find the value of this number, 66.67% of this number? So in that case, you need to use the method, the shortcut we have here. Just divide the number by 3, and then multiply the number by divide the number by 3, and then multiply the number by 2. So in this case here. So my pen here is not picking any number, any color. And let me see. Okay, so I have a small problem here. Okay, I have no idea why that's happening, but okay, I will just go back to this number here, this pen. So here, again, we can still take the idea of 15. So if we say, what is 66.67 of 15? So here, divide it by 3, and then multiply by 2. So basically, we're going to quickly divide 15 by 3, which gives us 5, and then 5 multiplied by 2 will give you 10. So 66.67% of 15 oranges will be 10 oranges. So assume we're talking about oranges. Yeah. And that is how this is done, and it goes very quickly. Okay. So suppose now we go back to our class. If we go back to our class, where are we going to look at 80% of 320. So ideally, what we're looking for here is how can we divide? Yeah, so anytime you get 80% of any number, just divide that number by 5 and then multiply by 4. So here, what we're going to quickly do is divide 320 by 5 and then multiply that number by 4. Okay, so that should give us 256. Because 5 goes here once, 5 goes here 64 times. And 64 times 4 will give us 256. 75% is always like 3/4 of a number. So that means if you get, for example, 15 plus 15 oranges, like we say, and you want to know what is 75% of that number. So the answer here is, the easiest method here is just divide it by 4 and then multiply by 3. Okay, so in this case, we're going to say we have 15 divided by 4. And multiply that number by 3. So basically, we have here, this is going to give you, this is 3/1. This is going to give you 45 divided by 4. And then you get your answer as 11.25. Okay. So you can quickly do numbers like this, and it goes quickly and it goes easier. So if you don't want to waste time with old methods, then this is the shortcut. Now, at this juncture, now I want to talk about a very nice one, because this one is what, yeah, I love working with these numbers like this. And the idea is, can we compute percentage when you're given 2% of the number, 12.5%, and 16.67%? So this becomes interesting. In this case now, you only need to divide, for example, 2.5%. If someone asks you, can you calculate 2.5% of a number, just divide that number by 40. If it's about 12.5%, just divide that number by 8. If it's 16.67%, just divide the number by 6. Okay? So in this case now, let's look at in a class where we had 320 students, and you want 2.5% of those students. Let's say 2 of them are good in mathematics. So when you get this number, the idea is just to take this number and divide by 40 quickly, and you know that one will give you 8, because we have 0 will cancel here, and 4 goes into 32 8 times. So you get that one quickly, you have your answers 8. Again, if you go to the same class, when someone asks you what is 12%, 12.5% of 320 of the students, assume those students are very good in mathematics or good in physics. So then the idea here is just divide that by 8, and you see that's going to give you 40, because 8 goes 1 here, 8 goes here 4 times, and then 0, so you have like 40. A quick maths, and you will get your answer. Okay? Yeah, so how about that oranges thing? If you have If someone wants to know what 16.67% of, yeah, of a number, in this case, let's go back to our oranges, which we were talking about. There are 15 oranges. In this case, again, what you're going to do is just basically take 15 divided by 6. What do you get? And that should be your answer. So 3 goes here, 2, 3 goes here 5 times. So you can see 2 with that goes give you 2.5. So 2 oranges and a half will be 16.67 percent of that. So that is the video. That's topic I want us to handle today. Thank you so much for listening, and hope now you're going to use these hacks in your daily calculation. Thank you so much, and if you didn't subscribe yet, please subscribe. Bye bye.